Hello, I'm Graham Blakelock, and today we step into Exodus 8, a chapter that presses Israel's deliverance up against the stubborn power of Pharaoh and shows how God's judgments interact with human humility and stubbornness. In this chapter, the plagues continue to unfold as Yahweh ratchets up the pressure on Egypt. We start with the second plague, the miraculous swarms of frogs. Pharaoh promises to let the people go if the frogs leave, but once the frogs are removed, his words turn hollow again, and he hardens his heart. It's a repetition that emphasizes a central biblical truth. Manipulation and bargaining do not produce true faith or lasting obedience. Pharaoh's problem isn't merely inconvenience, it's a heart posture, resisting the sovereignty of God even when divine mercy is on offer. The third plague, lice from dust, reminds us that this conflict isn't just about grand signs, but about the intimate everyday life of the Egyptians. The magicians acknowledge the power of the Lord, but cannot replicate or resist it. They concede, this is the finger of God. Yet Pharaoh's heart remains hard. The requests and refusals echo through the narrative, human authority clinging to control in the face of divine reality. Next come the plague of flies, a disruption that affects the land and people in tangible, uncomfortable ways. God distinguishes Israel from Egypt, preserving a separation that foreshadows the enduring divide between God's people and the surrounding nations. The land is not neutral ground. It bears the marks of who belongs to Yahweh and who does not. In this section, the theme of mercy and judgment runs parallel. God's protection of Israel is an act of grace in a world marked by treacherous power dynamics. As the chapter unfolds, we see a pattern. The Lord announces judgment, provides a plausible way of relief, Pharaoh negotiates, and the outcome hinges on Pharaoh's heart. It's not merely discipline for stubbornness, it's a larger pedagogy. Who will bow to the God of Israel when confronted with undeniable demonstration of power and care for his own? We witness a practical human response to divine interruption. The leaders of Egypt plead, Pharaoh's heart hardens, and the cycle of resistance continues. Yet within this cycle there is also a glimmer of hope. Israel remains protected and sustained, and the possibility of release grows closer with every plaguing sign. The chapter invites us to reflect on our own responses when confronted by God's presence, power, and invitation. For readers today, Exodus 8 challenges us to examine where we place our security: in control, in comfort, or in the God who calls us to walk by faith and trust, not by visible signs alone, but by the truth of his character and promises. Closing thought. The narrative doesn't end with Pharaoh's concession, but with a pattern that will recur until the final, decisive moment. Where might God be inviting you to loosen your grip and trust him more fully in your own life? Join the discussion and engage in conversation by visiting our podcast super site, godstreamradio.com. Here you will find podcasts from leading Christian authors.